Hello everyone, welcome to another Bible session. Yeah, let's get right into the session.
Okay, good evening everyone. Welcome to another Bible session. Yeah, so today I'll be your teacher. Today I'll be teaching the lesson today. And I'd like to speak on the topic that says worshiping God. I've brought this topic today because I just feel like many people, let me say many Christians, don't know what it really means to worship God. And I want to open our understanding better. So, worship is praising, adoring, and expressing reference to God, both publicly and privately. If you agree with me, that's what worship is. And we can also say that worship refers to an overall lifestyle of serving and glorifying God and reflecting His glory in our lives and to others. When we say worshiping God is glorifying God. And the Greek word for worship, for us to understand better, the Greek word means to encounter God and praise Him. Encounter, that means to meet God, like we're meeting Him. And when we meet Him, we're praising Him. The book of Psalm 95 says, I'm going to be reading 1 and 2. It says, "Oh, come, let us sing to the Lord. Let us shout joyfully to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before His presence with thanksgiving. Let us shout joyfully to Him with psalms." When we say we are worshiping God, we should come with a joyful heart. That's what that Bible verse is talking about. That's what it's telling us. We should come with a joyful heart. Okay, like I said, I want us to put that at the back of our mind, that I said worship means to encounter God and praise Him. Now, when we talk about worshiping God, worship should take place in our inside, like from the inside. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So worship takes place on the inside, within our hearts, within our spirits, because that's where God dwells, right? It dwells in our hearts, right? Worshiping God is not, scattering the chairs during worship or disturbing people by throwing your hands at them or by rolling on the floor like how people do these days, or by chanting to disturb the worship of others. That's what we see in today's worship sessions in churches. Now, they said worship is to encounter God and to praise Him. And when we now start doing all of those things, we're meeting God, and then we start scattering chairs, we start saying all sorts of things during worship. Is that no mockery? Because I see it as we are literally mocking God. That's how I see it. Because we are to give honor to Him. While worshiping God, we're glorifying His name. Glorifying Him means we're respecting Him. We're giving Him the honor that He deserves. And when we now go to His presence, then we start behaving like children. He's not going to take us serious. We should worship God from our hearts, from the inside. We should open our hearts to worship. You see a lot of people, maybe when they are during worship session or praise sessions, they dance anyhow during praise sessions. They just do some things that even when you look at them, you'll be like, this person is not like you're not a sinner. We are all sinners. And then you now come to church, then you now start crying when you're not even supposed to cry. During worship, it is good to cry, but it should happen when you're really inside that worship, when that worship is coming joyfully from your heart. But most people, they believe that worship is when they shout, they scream, they disturb other people, because that's how I see it. Fine, we are worshiping God publicly, in the midst of people, but that doesn't mean that you cannot give privacy to people standing next to you or seated next to you. You should give them the opportunity also to concentrate on God, because we are all meeting God. At the same time, we should pour our hearts to him genuinely. Now, I said before in one of the definitions I gave us concerning worshiping God, and I said it is glorifying God. Glorifying God means to, like I said, to respect God, to give him honor, because it's like when you are at the presence of your father. Let's look at our earthly father. You are at the presence of your parents. You can't behave anyhow when there is a serious conversation going on. You can't. You would want to give them the honor by composing yourself, the courtesy, having courtesy, right, in their presence. So if you can do that for your parents on earth, why can't you give God the honor that he deserves? Why can't you do right by him, do well in his presence, so that it's going to take you serious? So that I will know that, yes, truly you're joyful, truly this worship is coming from your heart. Worshiping God means giving to him the absolute worth that he alone deserves. When we are worshiping God, whether it is in church, whether it is privately, all I want us to know today is I want us to know that we have to do it from our hearts. Because we know that, okay, when we get to church, it is a sure thing that we have to worship God and then praise him. Don't let it be like that, oh, let's just do it. You know, it's a normal thing. It's a norm for us to worship God in church, blah, blah, blah. Yes. But because it's a norm does not mean that you should take it with, you know, I don't know if you've heard before that they say that during worship, miracles happen, testimonies can come out from it. It's true. Because as at that time, it's like you're praying to God. It's like you're talking to God, like you're telling him. You know, in prayers now, for an example, we are praying to God. We are asking him for things. We're thanking him. Worship is mainly for thanksgiving. Let me put it that way. Like you're thanking God for everything. That is what that worship is. Telling him how big and mighty God is. That's what worship is. I remember when I was in school, there's this church that I used to go to. Even there was a time I had to, like, I had to calm down and tell myself, you need to leave this place because it is not meant for you. These people, whether it is worship, you know, worship is quiet, right? It should be a quiet time for everybody to think, to see God properly, you know. But then during worship, praises, whatever it is that require instruments and beats and everything, these people can break chairs. It's not even a joke. Like they can break it. They kind of dance. They are coming to the you know, to the front of the church. Everybody is just, you know, pushing each other. It's good to be joyful, right? But that has turned to madness. That's how I see it. When all of those things is happening, that is madness already. It's not being joyful. So if you're worshiping God, please come with a clean hand and a pure heart and a joyful heart. Okay? Now, I wrote something here. I said, worship that pleases God is authentic. It is offered with clean hands and a pure heart. Let's look at that in the book of Psalm 24, 3 and to 5. Let's read that. I'm going to be reading for us to understand better. Verse 3 says, who may ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who may stand in his holy place? 4, he who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted up his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. He said that who may stand in the holy place of the Lord. They're saying people that are clean, that has clean hands, and they are pure in their hearts. Those are the people that are worthy to even worship God. Because if you come to God and then you're not clean in the heart, God will just look at you like, look at this person. And you're coming to me and you think that you're worthy to stand in my presence to talk to me or to tell me that you honor me. God will see you as an unserious person. You have to come to God with clean hands, with joyful hearts, with a pure heart. It is then and then alone that you can be able to worship Him from within. It is then and then alone that you can encounter God, that you can see Him. You understand what I'm saying? So most people, they come to church and, they have grudges in their hearts. That's it. God will look at if you're somebody that, okay, even right there in the midst of people, there are people that you don't like. Yeah, let me use that. There are people that you don't like, people that you have some things against, or maybe you come to church with sadness, right? Have you not heard it when they say when you are stepping into the house of God, whatever it is that you are bringing from your house, whether it's sadness, whether it's whatever it is, you leave it outside and come into the church so that God can see you in a good light, so that He can see you. So if you're having grudges with people and all of you in the same company, all of you are having like maybe rift among each other, and then in that same atmosphere, all of you are coming to worship God. Like I said before, it's like a thief and another thief, that they are both deceiving each other. That's how it is. God will just look at all of them as bunch of unserious people. So please and please, that's what I want us to learn from today's topic. Let's our way of worship, the way we worship God in church, let it change. Miracles can happen during worship. Good things can happen. God might speak to you. So please and please, when you're going to a gathering of believers, you have to have an open mind. Clear your heart, clear your mind. Don't be sad. Don't have hatefulness in your heart. Don't have grudges. Leave everything behind and walk into that gathering. Even whether it is in your private, inside your private home. When you're talking to God, let your heart be clean. Yes. So that's everything for today. That's what I have to say to you. Thank you guys for coming. Bye.
Okay guys, that's the end of today's lesson. Like we treated, it's very, very good to have a clean heart, to have an open mind, a clean hand, and a joyful heart when worshiping God. It is very, very good. Yeah, and that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.